Hello, say hi as you come in. And yeah, we'll start the show. Welcome, welcome. Oh, somebody's here already. Grab your cup of coffee. I just got my post done. I didn't even double check it yet. I haven't edited. Sometimes I have to go in and edit because I don't get my tags right and stuff. I don't know if it makes a difference if I change the algorithm when I do that, but I do it anyway because I just really hate to see the little mistakes. But as you pop in, say hi and yeah, tell you what I've been up to during the week. And I would love to hear how you guys have been doing during the week. Hi, Andrew. What have you been up to? What have you been up to this week? I haven't checked the mail. I don't know if there's an email from you, but I haven't checked the email yet. No makeup or anything. I just, I was working on my post and I just got it in. Like I said, 2 minutes before I go live on YouTube, can I get this post uploaded? Yeah. But the thing is, I wasn't going to upload it if it didn't meet my standards. Not like, I think it's like super good or anything, but there's a minimum, right? Yeah. And I did it. And yeah, so I'm happy. Okay. Oh, that makes me feel better just to get this done. Yeah, and it's time to get the hair done too. Like all the pink is going out. Time for a revamp on the hair. Yeah. I guess we're all looking forward to getting back to being a little bit human, right? I don't know how long this is going to go for, but oh, you got a buzz cut. Yeah, you've been enjoying those. I remember you said last time you got one too and that you enjoyed. I'm glad. I'm glad. I think it's such a waste, like for a guy anyway, if you don't mind going without hair. I know in the wintertime it keeps your head a little bit warm, especially if you're living in Manitoba, but yeah, my husband shaved his head all the time, right? And he had a full head of hair, but he loved to shave his head, right? Mind you, he was in the military. All the guys shave their heads in the military, but usually flat tops, right? And he did the flat tops too, but lots of times, especially towards the end. Yeah, it was all about being a Hell's Angels at that point. And yeah, he'd take that electric razor and he would give himself a shave, right? Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Actually, funny though, when me and my husband, we split, right? And we had a beautiful house out in Edmonton. I loved it. And I loved the yard. I loved everything about living in Edmonton with my husband. It was a really nice place for us to be. But when my marriage fell apart, right, I didn't want him in the house, right? I just wanted him to go stay with a friend or something. And I couldn't leave right away because at the time I was still working and I had no plans of staying because we wouldn't have been able to, stay like separated and stuff, right? And I was tired, right? I was emotionally tired at that point, and I decided I was going to go back to Winnipeg. So I told him to leave the house and I'd give me a month and I'll be out, right? But I didn't know where he was going. I had no idea. I kind of had an inkling where he was, but I didn't want to bother them or anything. And I just wanted to pack my house out and get out of there, right? And yeah, I got a call from a Harley Davidson shop, right? He had taken his bike and he bought this bike. He took his pension, right? And he blew all that money, his entire pension. He blew it on a motorcycle, some Triumph fancy motorcycle anyway. But he bought this motorcycle off of a friend, off of one of his best friends, right? And his friend sold it to him with a cracked tank, right? And yeah, so right away, my husband never even got to ride it, right? They just tore the bike apart, put it in milk crates, and they took it down to the Harley Davidson shop, right? And they left the parts and crates, and they were planning on going in and out and working on it. It was a friend's shop, right? But I got a call when after my husband was split. I had no idea where he was, but the person who owned the shop, he passed away, and the whole shop was going into probate, right? So he was going to lose his bike if we didn't get it out of there. I had no idea where he was. I tried to get a hold of him. I couldn't get a hold of him. I don't know. It was a $30,000 bike. It was very expensive bike. He paid a lot of it, way too much. He got burned on it, right? But yeah, I decided I would go down and figure out how to get the bike home and throw it in the garage. At least when I was gone, he'd go in the garage and he would see that his bike was there, right? Instead of him losing it, he was the type of guy he would have lost it for sure. He would never have gotten it. So I went down there, made arrangements. One of the guys there thought I was cute, and so he let me use the trailer, right? And the company trailer, and I loaded up all the bikes, and we tied the big frame to the bike or to the trailer the best we could, right? We roped it down and everything, and it was on the Yellowhead. It was out in Edmonton. And I had to drive down the Yellowhead. I was going so fast, right? And I don't know what happened, but that bike flew off the back of my trailer. All the milk crates went flying. There were like car or motorcycle parts all the way. I just bought, I had just split up from my husband. I was in no state to deal with any of that, right? And I'm bawling my eyes out and I'm taking the milk crates and, I'm picking up bits and pieces. Kathy's here too. I was picking up bits and pieces of the bike and throwing it in the milk cart, bawling my eyes out. And, finally I got that bike home. I don't know if I got all the parts. Probably not, right? Because it all went flying. But yeah, I stuffed it in the garage. And I don't know why I was telling that story. There was a reason why I was telling that story about Edmonton. Oh, about him being wanting to be a Harley Davidson, wanted to be a Hell's Angels, right? And then he ended up being like they call them strikers, right? Where you go work with the bad people who work with the Hell's Angels. That's what he wanted to be, Hell's Angels. But he became a striker for, I think they called them the Nomads or something, right? But yeah, but by that time I was out, right? I didn't know what had happened. All I knew is he had changed so much. Like I would come home from work and there would be like big biker parties going on in my backyard, big bonfire pits, and I didn't even have a fire pit. They would just build big fires out in my backyard, and I'd come home and there'd be people sleeping in my bed, and I couldn't. Yeah, that was not going to happen, right? I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, that was the second time I went back, right? Because the first time I had no intentions of coming back, but I went back, right? And it didn't last. It only lasted a few months, and then that was it. And I knew it was forever, but even then, it wasn't it, right? Sometimes you hold on to these people, and yeah, we caused each other quite a bit of hurt, I think, and towards the end, right? I had a hard time giving up the military life. It took me, well, it didn't take me that long, 1 or 2 years, and I was out. But at that point, I had given up all my friends already, right? Like all my friends, all my civilian friends, all my army friends. Like I had no friends. That's what I let that, I let that happen. And I didn't argue about it or anything. I just took it as fact. This is the way it is. And I just carried on. I carried on with my life and not realizing I was causing myself all these little issues, right? That, compounded, made for a big problem in my life, because, it was like over 20 years, until I was able to come out of that. And that by that time, I'm not going to say it's, the opportunities are over, but definitely the opportunities to have babies and have a family and everything, that was, I had made it so that it had become too late, right? And now I am so set in my ways, right, that I don't know if I would even be good, I watch all these shows. I know I watch too many of these videos on codependency, right? And it makes me think that, that maybe I'll never be able to overcome. But, it seems to me that everybody has these traits, right? Like, I don't feel like they really, really bother me in any way. But, when I'm watching the videos and, reading the content and the articles and stuff, it makes you wonder, right? Because they kind of make you think that, yeah, it's all because you're codependent and stuff. I'm not too sure about it. I think the mind is much more complex than putting labels on things, right? And calling me even a codependent, right? When I have quite a few little, not big ones, right? Because I always I always back down. That's right. Well, that's not true unless I am personally, if I'm personally being attacked, like I'll stick up for myself. But even then, I'll back down just to make things calm again, right? Like I'll just turn my other cheek and I'll just let it pass. But then when you do that, nothing gets resolved. So usually I'm that person that wants to talk it. I want to talk it through. I want to know the why, right? Let's make let's make this a lesson, right? Let's make this a lesson. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to cut my hair for a while. I just might until my drains start getting so clogged that it drives me crazy, right? And now too, I'm only washing my hair, every 2 or 3 days. I used to wash my hair every single day, every single day I wash my hair, right? Always have, always wash my hair. Maybe that was some of the reason why, my hair kept falling out, but it was because like my hair is really, really curly and it gets tangled. And when I go to brush it and stuff, right? Like, see, it's just like a big rat's nest, right? But you put it in a ponytail and yeah, even the curls, they look okay, I guess, right? I got to put some more pink in. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll be doing that tomorrow. But everybody, how's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today, right? I hope everybody threw a prayer out there for Nancy. I'm shooting one out there. I haven't talked to her this week. Actually, maybe tonight I should send her a quick email and see how Nancy's doing. But I know she'll watch this over. So if you want to send out a little shout out to Nancy, I'm sure she's going to read it, right? She'll read the comments and stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my wall. Even today I was looking at it and I'm thinking, yeah, this just does not work. This is not good. I've got to do something with this. I don't know what I'll do, but I'm going to do. See, I just don't want to put that shelf on this side because I like the light, right? And I like when I sit at my kitchen window, I like to look at my art. And when the shelf is here, then I can't look at my art on my walls, right? So I thought, it's a good trade-off just to get this over on this wall, right? But yeah, I don't know if I need a new color. Definitely need new decor and stuff. And I want to bring my Prairie Dodgers. I need to bring it down lower, right? I need to bring it down lower. Now that I'm sitting here and I'm doing my post on Instagrams, right? I don't want to hit up to the ceiling, but I still want to show the Prairie Dodgers, right? Yeah. So what's everybody doing this week? Is everybody doing good? Is everybody doing good? Is everything like with the virus and everything? Is everybody like still don't know anybody who's gotten really, really sick? Oh, William did, right? William had quite a few in his church. Oh, it'd be nice to see William tonight. I haven't talked to William this week at all, but he's been really, really busy with the church, right? There's lots of the virus got in the church. And I think this morning here in Manitoba, we got 3 new cases. Past 2 days, we didn't have any new cases at all. Just went down the wrong throat. We didn't have any cases at all in the past 2 days. And now today we've got 3 cases, right? So it's not going to work. It's not going to work partly opening up, right? All you're doing is inviting the cold. But, at the same time, you got to think 2 million people, almost 2 million people in the States have had the virus now. Not everybody's recovered. They've got like 200,000 deaths or something. I'm not going to look, but I'm assuming it's pretty high, right? I know they had more deaths than anywhere else in the world. In the States, right? But yeah, very lucky. And and that's the thing. That's why they're opening up, right? Because it's the ratio of people passing away and people that are being sick that now even the elective surgeries, they could be doing all those surgeries now, right? They could be doing all those surgeries and they're just not doing them because they were saving all those beds and everything for the people who got the virus, right? But now they seem to think that's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't know how that's possible, right? And if the virus is still kicking around, I mean, one person can contaminate like easily 50 people in one day, right? Yeah. Yeah. I just wish it wasn't such a money thing, right? I wish it wasn't such a money thing. You can't put a price on a life, right? You can't put a price on a life. Yeah. So what's new? Oh, I knew I was a deep thinker, but I've got a title. I am a divergent thinker. It's the way I think, right? The way I have a path to a goal, but I take peaks, right? Along the way, I take peaks. And sometimes I don't even take peaks. I actually go down and knowing that I'm going to come out somewheres along the line, right? But if I find a good one, then I'll stay on that road, right? Just to see. But yeah, I'm called a divergent thinker. So that's pretty good. And ideological. I'm ideological, so I haven't checked that out. I don't think I've ever used that word even in a sentence in my entire life, right? I know uh my nephew is theological, right? But yeah, divergent thinker is somebody uh, who has a difficult time establishing identity, which is me, right? Being a mirroring path, right? I'm just going to be mirroring whoever I'm with, right? My personality is going to be dictated. Like I have my own personality. Like I have a personality. I have one. This is my personality right now here with you guys, right? Because I can be 100%, right? Because nobody is in front of me, right? But as soon as I'm dealing with somebody, a family member, a friend, or somebody in the public, an employer, anything, like I'm going to be mimicking, right? I'm going to be mirroring their actions and their beliefs, right? And I try to be myself, but I find no matter what, it's just my nature. It's my nature to do that, right? And I'm not sure whether or not I'm supposed to be breaking me, or is it something that I can just live with? Like, I don't know. Like, mirroring other people in my life has actually come in very, very handy for me, right? I've been able to deal with some very, very difficult people in my life, people I should never have been able to even deal with, right? Even family members and stuff, right? And I was able to do that because I was a mirror empath, because I was able to chameleon into somebody that person would be able to get along with or respect, right? And I'm also that person who recognizes it immediately, because I'm somebody who goes in anywheres and amongst people. I'm going to be scoping and I'm going to be assessing immediately, right? So I always have things pretty well scoped out, before I even start a conversation. So I'm able to start chameleoning like almost immediately, right? Sometimes so fast that the person doesn't even recognize that I'm not myself, right? If you know me and we go out in public, right, you'll notice it. My sisters all the time used to say that I was fake, right? And it wasn't that I wasn't fake. I was always myself, but I changed, right? I could change right on the spot, that at that moment, that's who I actually was, right? But you put boundaries, not just for other people, right? You put boundaries for yourself, right? So that you can stay on an easier path. Like with me, I say no lying, no cheating, no stealing, right? Now, if I can stick to those three things, right, that will always push me forward in a good way, right? And then at the same time, if I'm doing that, then I'm a more genuine self, right? Because lying, cheating, and stealing is something most people do, and I wouldn't mirror that, right? Because that's part of my boundaries, right? So that keeps me within what keeps me within and amongst good people, right? Oh, proud of myself. Oh, again, Kathy, gain? Or is this the other hip? Or was that your knees? That was your hip? Kathy, are you going for another operation on your hip? It was your hip that you had your last operation. It didn't go well? Oh, the other hip. Oh, really? So you didn't even really get a whole summer just to relax and enjoy and get your bottle taken. Now you got to do it all over again, right? But you won't have to. Will you have this surgery over winter, Kathy, or over the summer, Kathy, or will this like be something that goes into fall that because it's elective surgery, kind of like right now, right? Or are they back to doing operations in the hospitals? Yeah. Yeah, the sooner you can get that done, the better, right? But my mother had both her knees done at the same time. It was the best surgery that she could have done for herself. We would never have gotten her into the hospital again for another surgery, but she was so happy that she did go in it. But I know the hips are hard, right? And Kathy, you're fairly young too to be having to deal with two, not just one, but two. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, okay. So you're on like a cancellation too that, as soon as they can get you in, you can go in. Well, I hope you have good luck with that, right? Because the other hip did good, right? Because you didn't complain or anything too much, right? After you had that surgery, you said you mentioned how pleased you were, right? So having the other one done, like maybe this would be just like the best thing, right? Get rid of some of that pain, right? Get rid of some of that pain. I know there's lots of initial pain to start with, but yeah. What is the recovery time on hip replacement, Kathy? What's the recovery time on that? I know it would be dependent on your general health, right? But oh, good, good, good. Because I remembered, like you said that it went well and everything. I didn't realize that you had to go in and get the other one done too. But I'll be glad because then you'll be able to get down on your knees into your bottle digging and stuff, right? And what's the point of having the one hip done if the pain is still going to be there, right? If you're going to go through that pain, right? I have full 100% faith in doctors. I always have. Nobody except my dad too. My dad had faith in doctors too, but the rest of my family never did. They hated doctors. My sister Tracy hates doctors, but she's at the doctors almost every week, right? My mother hated doctors. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't like hospitals, right? I don't like hospitals. I have a hard time in hospitals, but then again, that's that mirror empath in me, right? If I'm going to sit there and they're going to be people in grief and crying and worried and stuff like that, I'm going to pick up all of that, right? And I won't necessarily pick up what it is, like the knowing of it or anything, but I'll pick up the stress and I'll pick up, like, I'll burst into tears. But in the time, I think it belongs to me. Like, I think it's me, right? But you don't think that you're just picking up the feelings off everybody else. You just have these feelings and you don't understand why you have those feelings, right? And that's what happens to me. It's not as bad now and I feel guilty for it, right? Because I think I was always meant to have that a little bit, and it was supposed to be useful for other people, but because I could sense it and everything, I think it helped to make me become more solitude, right? Make it so that because it's easier for me when I'm by myself. I don't have to deal with that stuff, right? I don't have to deal with people's emotions. I don't have to feel that stress, right? And now also I have I used to. I haven't been out for a country drive. I asked my sister yesterday when we went grocery shopping if I could borrow her car, right? So I could go out to the country, maybe go, because then I could start collecting everything I need to start working on the fort, right? And I can start making some YouTube videos and everything. But yeah, I asked my sister if I could borrow her car so I could go out there, and she said no. I don't know. I don't know. Like I can't try to figure out what's going. Like I could try. All I could do is just try to be understanding and be nice about it. Try and be kind and understand her point of view, and understand that, like, it's tough, right? I'm not working and she's working, and there's a little bit of, resentment there, that I'm not working right now, and she has to, how, we went grocery shopping right away. She's like, are you looking for work? Are you like, we're right in the middle of the coronavirus. Like, soon as that, yeah, my work program was ready to place me. Like, I'm in. I'm like, I'm not sitting here fighting not going to work. I'm not fighting not going to work. I want to go to work, right? You know, and I'll do what I have to keep a roof over my head, right? But yeah, I don't get it. It's like, yeah, it's and it all happened overnight, and I just don't understand, right? But then again, I can't, right? I can only be responsible for my own actions and the way I think, right? And then, but at the same time, I would like to know, because if I knew, right, if I could feel it out, like I know where it comes from, but I can't get close enough to do something about it, right? Except I can sit here and I can throw stuff at her in my brain, but to actually, she wouldn't go for it, right? So I just gotta wait for her to, I could say come to her senses, but maybe it's me who has to come to her senses, right? But hi, Owen. How's your day been going? How's your mom? Yeah, I'm just looking at my wall. I'm just trying to figure out what can I do? What can I do to make this better, right? I could go outside and I can videotape, right? But I really, really like going live. I don't like to rehearse, right? The rehearse, the tight, the formal stuff, and I need to be practicing that too, right? But I think that I wouldn't be using the formal very much, right? I think I'm always supposed to be at layman's, right? I can understand that, and I can relate to it, and I can sit and I can conversate, you know. But yeah, I think I was meant to keep it layman. So yeah, any way to keep the formality out of what I do, right? Because I would just like it to be always like a conversation with all of us, right? Yeah. Hmm. But yeah, I hope your surgery, and I hope you get in right away. I hope you put your name in to get a cancellation, because I'm sure there'll be lots of cancellations right now. I know if I had I was due for surgery, I'd try and put it off a little bit if I possibly could, right? Just because, you know, of the nervousness of what's going on, right? Yeah. Hey, cutie, cutie. What? My cat grunts like a pig. It's really cute, right? It's not, she doesn't even meow. Well, she meows too, but it's mostly little grunts, right? Yeah, it's all good. But as soon as I make a move towards the kitchen, yeah, she'll jump up on the kitchen table, right? She'll wait for her treats and stuff. Yeah. Mm. I might have been one of those moms that spoiled their kids. I might have been one of those moms that spoiled their kids, right? And how did that go, Owen? Does your mom walk, or is she in bed? Yeah, I'd be curious to know. I know that Owen takes care of his mom, but I don't know if his mom is up and about, right? If she's walking around the house now. I don't know. Yeah, curious. I should like scoot over. I'm like right at the end of my desk here. All this wasted space of my desk, and yeah, I have this little glass tray here. Yeah, it's time. I've been doing cleaning projects and stuff, but it just seems like it looks the same, right? I mean, it smells fresh, but yeah, like even today I swept and washed the floors yesterday, and today I had to re-sweep. And yeah, now my cat, I forgot about the cat hair, right? Yeah, she sheds, but I got her a little hairbrush, right? So I've been brushing her fur to get the hair off of her, right? I just don't want it clogging up my sinks and stuff, right? Or getting on my clothes. I was never one for allergies or anything like that, like the cat's dander and stuff, right? When I had pimples and stuff, I used to say that, it was the cats and stuff, but I'm always blowing on her belly and, rubbing my face into her neck and stuff like that. So I know I don't have any cat allergies, but my mother had allergies. My mother was allergic to birds, to feathers, right? My dad wasn't allergic to anything. My dad, it was funny, like to look at my dad, you would think he was like tough and healthy, and yeah, you would never think that he was, until he had like one of his angina, like towards the end he was having really bad angina attacks, right? But then when they did a test on him after he passed away, they said that he actually did have 3 heart attacks that we didn't even know. They could just tell by the scar tissue on his heart, right? Yeah, me too. I've been enjoying washing dishes lately. I've been enjoying washing dishes. I never really minded washing dishes before, but I never actually thought that I would be enjoying washing dishes, right? And I got that idea from David Suzuki. David Suzuki, right? And he takes great pleasure in washing the dishes for his family, right? When he has dinner and he washes all the dishes and everything, and he's just left alone to it, and he just does mindful washing dishes, right? So I was trying that, in the morning when I go to start my coffee and stuff in the morning, and I really have been enjoying it, right? So I've been trying to do other things around the house mindfully, right? And it makes me feel good because I'm getting things accomplished, right? Cleaning out the closets. I cleaned out one of my towel closet that I hadn't cleaned out in probably 3 years, right? Found quite a few things I threw in there, right? That I didn't have space for. And then, oh, I was looking for that. I was looking for that, right? And I'm one of those people that knows where absolutely everything is in our house. I mean, even if it's not tidy, like everything has its place, right? Like if you need something, I want to know where that item is, eh? And yeah, it was interesting to see that I was using it as kind of like a junk cubby, and I was throwing anything that I didn't need, little shelvings and, pictures and towels and little things I wasn't using. I was just throwing it up there, and holy cow, I needed this. I needed this, light bulbs. And yeah. But I guess we all have those junk drawers, right? I've got a junk drawer in the kitchen, and I keep my screwdrivers and my screws, and I keep duct tape in there, and just a few things, some wood glue, some things that you often use, right? Things that you use often, little twines and stuff that you can get at right away, right? Mm, very good. Yeah, I would never consider myself. I think I was pretty balanced that way when I come. Like I'm not overzealous in the cleaning. I'm not overzealous in the mess, right? I do like everything in its place, right? But yeah, I guess I worry about big things, right? I'm not somebody who worries about the little things. These little things in life are inconsequential compared to other worries, right? Like how do you pay the phone bill? How do you pay the hydro bill, right? These are the things you spend your time, like if you're going to give thought, right? And it's really not going to make that difference for you to beat yourself up on something. I mean, if you can't pay the phone bill, why are you going to sit there and just worry about it, right? So yeah, I set the thing. Oh, got to pay the phone bill. You can't pay it, so don't even beat yourself up about it. It's so easy to worry, right? Yeah, I've been really practicing, and it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference, like just not worrying, right? Like, yeah, like beating myself up. How many times, like how many times did I just go to bed bawling my eyes out because I didn't think I had a roof over my head, that I thought I was going to lose this apartment, you guys? How many times did I say that this past year, right? Every month I would cry to you guys, oh, I think I'm going to lose my apartment. And twice actually, I think I got my notice. Well, once I got a written notice, the other one I got a verbal notice, right? But they just kind of let it slide, thankfully, right? They let it slide for me, right? So I was really grateful for that, right? But I was so worried about not having a roof over my head, and yet in the end it all worked out, right? Like it all worked out. I just worried for absolutely nothing. Right? I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to put myself underneath that kind of stress, right? Yeah. I put myself under too much stress. That's for sure. I keep myself pretty wired, right? But I think I handle the wire pretty good. I look at other people and I wonder, and I look at them and how they deal with their stresses in life, and then I look at my stresses and I go, you're not doing too bad, Cindy. You're doing okay, right? Don't let anybody make you feel bad, right? And yeah, it's been okay. It's been okay. And I hope everybody else out there has been okay throughout all of this, right? If you're anything like me, and I'm sure most of you have a little bit of Cindy in you, otherwise you wouldn't be watching me. But yeah, yeah, it's not so bad. We're all going to come out of this just fine, right? But hopefully we're gonna learn some lessons, right? And I bet you lots of people are gonna move out of the big cities. I bet you lots of people are gonna move out of the big cities first chance that they get. Yeah, if anybody can get some land, right? And not fill it up with apartment buildings and housing and stuff, right? Like if you could buy 360 acres and cut it into quarters, right? And put houses in, that would be a good idea. Subdivide into four, right? 360 acres. That way, you still got big pieces of chunks of land, and people can still have that feeling of being away from something that might happen again, right? Yeah, to me, exactly, Andrew, it's the same thing, eh? Not having a roof over my head. Absolute worst, right? It wasn't so bad with the car. Even at 40 below zero in the winter and stuff, I was prepared to wear my snow pants and my jacket and everything. But yeah, when the car got taken away from me, like, then that's when I worried about, oh, like she took the car away from me, like, how much more can I suffer? And that was actually my post today. It wasn't on suffering, but it was starting from the bottom, right? And then just the struggles that people go through, and that as long as you don't stop, if you set a goal, just expect that you're going to struggle through it, right? But you'll get through it, but just expect it, and then you won't be disappointed when things slip and slide a little bit, right? Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, they're pretty funny here with the zoning like that. Unless the building is on a main drag, they wouldn't let shops go onto the main floor, right? Unless the apartment building was on a main drag, right? It has to be zoned for that. We have lots of houses, and what they're doing is they're buying up these small houses. See, and that's another thing. There's a house not a block away from where I live. And as long as I've lived here, and I've lived here for almost 25 years, that house has been abandoned, right? Um, and I look at the beautiful or kitchen ornaments they had in the kitchen window and stuff, and I thought, well, if I could find the owner and I could ask them if I could just go in and take a look at the house, right? But it's always been abandoned for as long as I've known, as long as I've lived in this building, right? But taxes are so cheap. taxes are so cheap, and the appreciation on the property is more than what the taxes are every year, right? So it's worth it just to buy property when it comes available and just sit on it, right? And you just sit on it. And then what happens is, like even on my street, they take down the house, right? They take down the old house, and in the same lot, they'll put an apartment condos, right? Where they'll have 3 or 4 apartments where that house was, right? So all these lovely houses from the turn of the century, they're all being taken away, right? And the nice big yards are now being taken up by little apartment buildings. But it rejuvenates old neighborhoods, right? When you have new builds in the neighborhood, right? When you have new housing put in the neighborhoods, it builds up the property values and it builds up the neighborhood. So I understand it is a very good thing, and it's a good business, right? For especially contractors and stuff, that they don't have jobs and seasonal stuff, that they can buy these properties and flip them that way, right? And make some money. Like if I used to do some flipping and stuff, but I helped to flip other people's, right? It was their properties and I just come in and I just help them, right? But I would love to have my own property and maybe flip it to something good just to see, right? Wouldn't that be a great start if I could flip a property and make $40,000? That would be absolutely perfect to get me back on my feet and get me back in line with what I want to be doing, independently of what anybody else wants me to do, right? Yeah, I'm getting a little bit defensive, right? Like, because everybody wants me to do something, but I want to. I'm not even quite sure, right? I don't think I bumped into what I really want to do, right? I'm 58 years old, and I'm looking at starting a new career. I'm looking at starting a new career, and I'm excited to do that too, and I'm looking forward to doing it. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I don't think I've bumped into it yet, right? Yeah. Yeah, it'll come to me, and I'll go when it calls. I'll go when it calls. And you're right there, Andrew, that these buildings do lose their character, right? When these new buildings go up, but it's a good way, it's a good way to keep neighborhoods from going downhill, right? Our downtown used to be like we used to be the third largest city in Canada, right? Winnipeg. We were the center of distribution and manufacturing in North America, right? Like we had 24 rail lines come through the city. Like everything that went anywheres in North America had to come through Winnipeg first, right? And before it got distributed to any other city. And what was I going to say there? I was going to say, let me take a look at it. Oh yeah, the downtown. And it was all business owners and their families and stuff like that. But when the depression hit, that those neighborhoods went right down. Even the big skyscrapers, big old beautiful skyscrapers like Chicago, that's what we have, all great big granite block buildings, right? Beautiful sky rises. I have lots of footage too. I should make a little video and show you guys what a beautiful heritage village or heritage district Winnipeg has. They make lots of movies here all the time. All the big movie companies, they come up here to Winnipeg to make movies in our industrial district, right? Because it's so beautiful and so intact, right? We were very lucky. But that's what happens is, the neighborhoods deteriorate really bad, and then the riffraff come in and they don't take care of the buildings, and and things get really bad. And then what happens is you've got a neighborhood where it's all, like drug dealers and bad people and stuff, right? But we were very lucky, right? And which happens in most, it's what happened like with Greenwich Village and stuff, is where the poor artists and everything, they get cheap housing and cheap units and cheap stores, like in these used abandoned buildings, right? So they get rejuvenated by the artists, right? And the artisans, and small businesses slowly moved in, and now it's a total beautiful cultural arts community down there, right? And it's absolutely magnificent. Yeah, definitely. I'll take everybody down for a tour of the village or of the heritage district down there. It's amazing. And that's something I can do. That's something I could do. That's a video that I could do, right? Yeah, that's a video I could do for my channel, and that would be a good one too. But yeah, now I gotta figure out, I gotta make some space on my computer and download one of those free video editors, right? I've never used anything except Premiere Pro. Oh no, I did use Movie Maker. I liked Movie Maker too, but I used Movie Maker when I first started on YouTube. But yeah, I'm a Windows girl, and you can't download the movie maker anymore for editing videos, right? But I can it's called DaVinci is the one that I was suggested, right? To download that one. They have a free one that's almost good as Premiere Pro. So yeah, Premiere Pro is pretty amazing, right? But for now I'm doing okay. I can't take on any more than what I'm capable of. Like, I'm not working right now, so I can do more, right? But as I get back to work and get back into regular life and stuff, like, who's to say where all of this is going to take me, right? I'm going to keep hacking away at it. I'm never going to give up at it, but but you don't know, right? There are no guarantees, right? You just put your best foot forward, and you never know, right? You never know. You just work towards your dreams, just work towards them, right? Sometimes they work out, and sometimes they don't, but I'm having fun in the meantime. Like, this is so amazing. Like, this, even my lives on Sunday night, it adds so much to my life, right? This adds so much to my life, right? And I would miss you guys greatly if I didn't have you here, right, with me, right? Because I'd be doing it anyway. I would be doing it by myself, right? I would just come and hang out with myself because, it's something I need to do anyway, right? I need to be able to practice speaking, and the more I do it, right, the more I get those rights that I do all the time, right. But it's not so bad. Everybody has the little phrases and their little nuances about the way they speak and stuff. So I just keep hacking away at, and that's what this all is, right? You just keep practicing, and you keep making friends along the way, and yeah, just enjoy it. Yeah, slums. That's the word I was looking for, Owen. Slums. Yeah, we do have a neighborhood like that, right? And it's unfortunate, right? Because because it doesn't give hope to the people that live in the neighborhood, right? When you live in that when you live that way, and you wake up every morning and you go to bed every night, right? And you live with those neighborhoods, right? And that lifestyle, and you look at your window and you see people struggling, and you see people with their problems, right? And lots of things. These are problems that some people in some neighborhoods, they never have to even notice. They never have to see it. They never experience. They might not even know it even exists, right? There's so many aspects of this world that I didn't even know existed. Like what I'm studying now, like spirituality, I didn't know any of that existed. I didn't even know what that was. Yeah, I just considered that was all like witchcraft and stuff, right? Like, I didn't realize that they were like good people, right? Yeah, and people too that actually even believed in God, right? But they didn't have the same kind of structured church, and that's why they call it spirituality instead of a religion, right? Because it doesn't actually have a roof like Protestant and Catholic and all of that, right? Yeah. I'm not, yeah, and all of it, I find it all. You know what? I found a new one too. Oh, I was watching a little bit yesterday about the Hare Krishnas. I didn't know much about them except that they begged for money and gave out flowers when I was a kid, right? And that they had dots in the middle of their foreheads. I knew that much. And that song, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, here. Yeah. I remember that too. I don't know where I remember that from. A picture of my dad came into my head, but I don't think my dad was into that, right? I don't think my dad was into that, but something came into my head. But yeah, it was the Hare Krishnas, and then Stoicism, right? Which is really interesting, right? I find, that theologian kind of mindset. I really like that. I like that structure. I like that structure, right? And it doesn't mean the Stoics weren't happy people, right? They just didn't delve and they didn't dwell in their miseries. That's all. They just hacked through it, right? They just hacked through it. Yeah, those we have those low income here too, throughout the city in different aspects of the city, so that you could, when you are ready to move into them, you can find one in the neighborhood that you were used to living in, which is a good thing, right? Because they even have those low incomes, seniors buildings and everything in nice buildings. Like the one I wanted to go into is right by Assiniboine Park, right? And it's a beautiful building, beautiful sunrise, beautiful view of downtown, right? And right next door to the Safeway, and right next door to our great big huge park, so seniors can go for walks and stuff. Bus service, perfect. Perfect. But then people choose places in the neighborhoods they like, right? But some people, they like those buildings downtown in those rough neighborhoods because that's where their family lives, right? So yeah, it's all about how you live, your neighborhoods. But I'm glad that they don't situate them all in the same bad neighborhood. Like when you see those television shows of those annexes, where the really low people in those slum apartments, right? And all they are big complexes, annexes in the same area, and then that's when you have all the trouble with the gun shooting and the drug dealers and the children not being able to grow up and go to proper schools and get the educations that they want, right? I mean, not every kid wants a great education, but every kid wants to be the very best that they can possibly be, right? you know it was like my post on Instagram yesterday, right? Like, I could have had so many opportunities to be so many different things in my life, right? And I either chickened out, or somebody told me I couldn't do it, or I told myself I couldn't do it, right? Or I told myself I couldn't do it. But there were lots of opportunities in my life to chase down amazing dreams, and not just once or twice, but numerous times in my lifetime, right? Like even right now, there are opportunities for me, right? I don't know if I chased them down, I would get them, right? And I don't even know if they would be the right opportunities for me. I don't know, right? But you don't know unless you try. And then that's on me, right? That's on me to try. I agree, Andrew, right? You know, Coming out of high school the way I did, right? And knowing, I wouldn't have gone back. I wouldn't have followed my family, I don't think, to Winnipeg. I think I would have missed that opportunity, and I couldn't imagine not living in Manitoba. I just love it here, right? It's not crazy. It's got tons of beautiful landscapes and wilderness, right? The people are absolutely amazing. But I enjoyed everywhere that I lived, right? I enjoyed living in Edmonton when I was with my husband. I thought Edmonton was absolutely the most beautiful city, right? When I was living in Vancouver, I thought Vancouver was the most amazing city ever, right? And then even places that I visit, I would dream that I could live there, right? But I don't know if I wouldn't want to live in another country, I don't think. Like it would have to be Canada. I would have to live in Canada, but yeah. I'm a patriot, just like you guys, right? In the States, right? Being patriot. There's nothing wrong with being patriotic, right? To stand for something, to stand for something. Yeah. But you can choose, Andrew. Maybe you can't do everything that you want, but you can choose a few things that you do want and you could work towards them. Even if you know in this lifetime, that you won't accomplish it. You don't know that you're not coming back, Andrew. You don't know that. I know you're a Christian, right? But you don't know that you're not coming back, right? They even said Jesus was going to come back, right? So you don't know that you're not coming back. So why not get ready for your next life, right? Better yourself now. Get yourself ready now, right? You'll get those nudges and those intuitions from whoever's in charge to say, hey, go check this out, or give you kind of an inkling or a craving for a certain kind of life, or you'll be tempted to do something, but like where did those come from, right? Maybe those come from like a past memory of a past life or a future life, the life that you're supposed to have, right? Or the life that God wants you to have, right? you know hmm Like I said, like last week or Wednesday, Andrew, right? That great memory of yours, that photographic memory of yours, like God gave you that for a reason, right? So I would think that, the gentleman I follow, Evan Carmichael, he says your purpose always comes from your pain, right? The most painful moment in your entire life, right? That should be your purpose. Then you think of all your skills and all your talents and see how well suited they would have been to that purpose. Like you could actually think now what you could have been, right? By doing it that way. But just because, we're all baby boomers and ready to retire and everything, that doesn't mean you can't start now. That doesn't mean that yeah, I'm going to do a retreat. Millions and millions of dollars. But I'm going to do a retreat up north, right? Up in one of my favorite places and to go camping in my whole life, right? I had this wish to if I ever were to succeed, that I would want to do a spiritual retreat conference center, that someplace where people could come and relax and do mindset and reset, right? Reframe themselves before they went back to their busy, hard lives. Because people who do mindset, like that's hard work, right? Because mindset makes it so that you go through your fears, right? You know, yeah, fears are crappy. Who wants to go through their fears? I certainly don't. I'd much rather sit here with a cup of coffee and watch a video than go tackle and, plow down one of my fears, right? But that's the only way that we move forward in life. And yeah, and we all know it. We all know it. We just don't do it, right? So that's what I do online is I just hack forward. I hack forward, right? Try to better my life, along the way, but at the same time doing that, see if I can, drag some people along with me, right? Just like you guys betting yourself lives too, right? We're just kind of all sort of doing it together, right? Just at different levels, doing different things. We're all different people who want different things from ourselves. And, some of us want big dreams and some of us want to just be able to keep a tidy house, right? And just to keep the stress away. But it's all the same lessons that I do. It's all the same lessons, right? Yeah, and that's what I've been doing for the past few years, and it's been working out really, really well for me, really well for me. So I would like to see how that spills out into other aspects of my life. And it already has, but I would like to see some big things happen, right? Ah, I see, Andrew. A little bit of scatterbrain like me, right? But it could be your curiosity that does that, that you go all over the place, or is that because you just have way, way too much to do, Andrew, that there is too much on your plate and you have to find ways to take some of those off? Yeah. Maybe you need another outlet. Oh, maybe you need an outlet, one more outlet for yourself, one more thing that you love to do, but do it for yourself, right? I was thinking of something for myself. I want to think of something extra for me to add on to my brand right now that I can do, right? To add a little something extra. But I also want to add something that will add a little bit uh set me in a better direction, right? Give me better goals. But yeah, it's important, right? To set little things that make us happy, right? Right? It can't just be work, work, work. And if it is, you better make sure that you love your work, right? If you don't love your work, then yeah, you gotta get out of it, right? Yeah. And it's just hard, right? When we're all trying to put a roof over our heads. But yeah, you don't always get everything, but you get a version of what you want. You always get a version, but you have to move towards it too, right? Just don't set the attention and then wait for it. Like you gotta try for it. You gotta put a little bit of effort. But if you put the effort in, I mean, you guys have been with me for how long now? You've seen me do that magic. You've seen me put that effort in, and you've seen me accomplish the things that I want. Like hell, I never even had a job, right? And I accomplished so much this past year, like so much, right? And I think about it, right? Because I just miss it, and I wish I could be on the road right now. I've been thinking about it lots. Like I really want to be on the road. So I've been just racking my brains as to trying to figure out some little thing that I could do, right? My channel and my brand isn't big enough really to do anything with it, and but I gotta figure out some little business. Otherwise, I'm going to be working for the man, right? And that's not something that I'm looking forward to in the least. I mean, I will do it because I have to, but you know, I want to be my own god, right? I want to be a success. I want to be a success on my own, and then be able to choose where I want to go, right? But yeah, I want to do that for myself. Oh, and here I am looking for more things to do, and Andrew's trying to take off his plate, right? So it must have helped at the very least, getting your brother settled in, right? Now that you got him settled in a little bit, that takes a little bit off your plate, so you can add a little bit extra time for yourself, right? Yeah. I got close up and you could see all the film on my glasses. I can't get it off anymore. I must have cleaned my glasses with something not good. I wonder if they can polish that out or not, or if that would just change my prescription. I don't know. Not like I can afford to get that done anyway, but it's better. Yeah, I know. You just finish that up and then you'll be back at it, right? But it gives you something to do at the same time. You must be getting pretty used to it now, Andrew, right? How does your brother communicate with you, Andrew? How does your brother communicate with you? I know he's like special needs and everything, but can he carry on a conversation? Can he carry on a conversation, your brother? Yeah, be curious to know. Curious to know. But isn't it funny that everybody is caring for somebody, like Andrew's caring for his brother and Owen's caring for his mother, right? And then there's, Kathy going, I didn't know she was having hip surgery. And then Nancy too, right? You know, yeah, I would like to see Nancy have a good year, right? Nancy deserves to have a really, really good year. I send all kinds of wonderful stuff to Nancy all the time. Yeah, every time I do my affirmations and my mantras, yeah, I throw one out. I throw one out to her too. We should have leaves on the trees in another few days. I think the buds are on the trees and everything. And because it's late this year, I'm hoping that we're not going to get those green worms, right? Which means we're going to have lots of green leaves and lots of bushy trees this year. It'll be really nice, right? But yeah, well, just let me see if I missed anything here in the comments. Are there lots? Is there lots of well-to-do people in your neighborhood, Andrew? Around the university and stuff? They're like nice houses and everything. We have lots of nice neighborhoods here in Manitoba, right? Everybody has nice big lots. Even the older houses in the older neighborhoods, like all the lots are really really nice. And when they build those new condos and everything, it does make the neighborhoods look nice, right? And especially when they put the money into the roads, like we all complained, like we all grumbled and complained about all that infrastructure. They pounded us for 2 or 3 years with fixing roads in the city. It drove us absolutely mad. We were just done with it, right? It was like waiting in line all for hours just to get home from work and stuff. It was really bad, right? But if we hadn't done that, we would not have gotten it done at all, because that money would have gone to more important things, right? Yeah, so we got all of that done just in the nick of time. Yeah. Just checking this out. Get down here. Oh, okay. Is there much crime in that neighborhood if they're nice houses and everything? Do you get people like who break into them and stuff? Yeah, I don't hear too much about that kind of crime going on in our city. I'm sure it's happening, but I guess because I don't follow the news here, right? I don't follow the news. I just stay online. I haven't even looked. Well, yeah, I did actually look. Excuse me. Manitoba had three new cases of the virus today, right? We went 2 days with no cases, and yeah, now we got three today. We'll see. We'll see how the next couple of weeks go, right? With the regulations and stuff and the rules, being loosened a little bit, right? I heard with all the flower shops did really, really well, right? All the flower shops were selling out of flowers. So that's one business that got a little bit extra business, right? But there are lots of businesses out there that are struggling, right? So if you get an opportunity to share a video, or if you see a post from one of your local businesses and everything, it wouldn't hurt to give it a heart and a little bit of a share, right? Because if you share it, they'll appreciate it. You never know. They might send you a coupon or something to come down and have a free lunch or something. You never know, right? These things happen all the time, right? Really? Oh, well, that's good, Andrew, that you got yeah, I didn't know whether, because I knew he had serious problems, but that's terrific that he's able to have a conversation with you, Andrew. That's amazing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, my mother, like, and no, none of us took care of my mother. Like, my mother lived in her own apartment, like right to the end. She was like 72 years old, right? It was actually my birthday, right? And we got her out of the house for breakfast. We went up to a restaurant to have breakfast, and we noticed that she was spitting blood into her napkin at the restaurant. I thought, what's that? Like, that's not normal, right? And yeah, she just brushed it off as if it was nothing, right? And yeah, my sister took her to the hospital the next day, and it turned out to be stage 4 cancer. She was hiding it from us, right? She was hiding it from us because she didn't want us to take her to the hospital, right? And then we ended up taking her to the hospital, and she was gone. She was gone in like a week. Like, she was gone, right? So she must have been sick for a very, very long time, but she didn't like doctors. She kept it as a secret from her kids, no question. And yeah, it got to be really bad, right? But I guess she was ready to go. I don't know whether it was to go hang with my dad or whatever, right? Like, my mom was ready to, mother was ready to go, but she lived in her own apartment right until the very end. 72 years old, right? She was in her own apartment. But yeah, she did pretty good for herself. But I was never that nurturing person for my mother, right? My yeah I my, we were, all of us, the whole family was pretty independent, like all of us, right? I depended a little bit on my sister Tracy, only because she was like matriarch of the family, right? And she made life fun, right? She was always planning different things, and she was the life of the party, and it was always fun. It was always whatever Tracy had in store, or anything she had planned, so it was easy to follow my sister Tracy, right? But then after mom died and stuff, I don't know, it was like she took on some of my mother's traits or something. And it's hard, right? When you're not feeling good. She got in a car accident, and all these terrible, terrible things happened in her life. And it brought her down. And I know that feeling because I was there, right? I was there. But she doesn't even want to hear me. Like, I try to tell her, she just thinks I'm a kook when I say, well, Tracy, you got to think positive, right? And then I give her some different ideas to, help things go a little bit more positively, right? And I tell her how good she looks and how much energy she looks like she has, because it does look like her energy's come up. But she such verbally hates on her life so much, right? That it's hard to pull yourself up when you think that way, right? you know and what I did is I just did it anyway, right? I knew that was the problem, right? I knew I was doing that to myself, right? you know and okay, maybe she didn't believe, but I'm not quite sure if I even believed in the beginning, right? Like, I don't think I believed in the beginning. I just thought if I positively reaffirmed, right, that maybe I could trick myself into feeling that I was getting better, right? But just by doing it, and then just by learning and watching videos and stuff, it actually happened. Like, I actually became more optimistic, and I began to believe in myself a little bit, right? And then when you have your little successes, right? My trip to Minneapolis, and my trip to Toronto, and getting the car and doing my explores, and holding on to my brand like this. And when you see these little things, these little successes, right? Even me, in the way I communicate online and stuff, and being more comfortable expressing my thoughts and stuff, right? Like all of that was learned, right? All of it was accumulated, and I didn't have to force it in the end. It just kind of happened naturally, right? And then on top of that, somebody who might have died with no faith at all. Like, I had no faith at all, right? I wasn't an atheist. I was an agnostic, right? I didn't know. But at least now I believe in something, right? At least now I believe in something. I could have been one of those people that got died and then stayed with my body at the graveyard for eternity, right? And just stayed in the graveyard with a bunch of other ghosts and stayed there with my body for eternity because I didn't know where to go, right? I didn't believe in anything, right? But now, because I believe in something and I believe in something excellent, reincarnation, right? So that means I get to come back. Like that's amazing. I think that's absolutely amazing, right? Heaven on earth, right? Maybe earth is heaven, right? Hmm. I know you told us how old your mom was, Owen, before, but do you want to tell me again how old she is? And how long she's had her problems, right? I know you said that that you take care of your mom, that your brother helps out a little bit, right? Wow. Owen, 92. That's an amazing age, right? I had this set in my head, 114, 114. I'm going to live to be 114, right? And I keep saying that 114, that's a great age to live, right? I can accomplish lots at 114. That would make it so I'm only 50% there, right? And what a great life I've had up until now, right? And if I can keep my health for most of that, right? I don't mind getting weaker, right? Like not having the energy, because 92, you expect that, pulling out a quart of milk is going to take a lot of work. But at the same time, not to have all those aches and pains and emotionally be better, and then have my brand, and I can sit in my recliner, right? At 114 years old, and then to be able to talk to everybody, right? Like, how amazing is that? I look forward to that. It's going to be great. And I don't need it to happen right away, but when it does happen, I'm going to absolutely enjoy it. But yeah, 92, what a great age. 92. Yeah. 114, that'd be 14 and 8 is 22. Another 22 years, Owen. And she's still at home, Owen, right? You kept your mom at home. Like, how incredible is that you were able to keep her at home? You must have loved your mama just a ton in order for you to want to sacrifice like that, right? And take care of your mom, right? Like that. That's amazing. I don't think I would have been able to do that. I know I wouldn't have, right? It was hard for me. It was hard for me to have yeah, yeah, I would have felt trapped for sure. I would have for sure felt trapped if I had to take care of my mom, right? I had to take care of her in the end too, right? My sisters couldn't tell her that she was going to pass away, and they left it in my hands, and me and my mom had a pretty strained relationship, right? I felt very bad that I was going to be the one to have that discussion with my mom about death, right? And I felt bad because it should have been somebody that my mother could have used a good cry then, right? She just was so brave, and I felt bad, right? I was never really, really close to my mom, but I put my hand on her forehead and I rubbed her forehead, and I told her what was going on, right? I told her what was going on, and yeah, that was hard. That was hard. Hmm. But it was all surprise, and it was really, really funny because they didn't know how long she was going to pass away. But I remember I was leaving I took a big book there one day, and I had it sitting there, and and I remember visiting her, and I says, I'm never coming back here. I'm done. I'm not coming back here. And I went to leave the room, and then I went back into the room to get my book, right? And I grabbed my book and I walked out of the room. And that very night she passed away, right? And it was a book too that I would have felt bad if I had lost it, right? But it just seemed kind of odd that I remembered to turn around to grab that book, and it happened to be that day that she had passed away, right? But I always felt bad. I always felt bad that I was the one that had to have that talk with her, right? She was so brave, right? Like she totally understood. By that time she was all doped up and everything. She was all doped up, and she understood what was going on, right? But yeah. But you do what you have to. It was very painful for my sister. So whatever I could do to help alleviate some of that pain for my sisters, right? I was more than happy, more than happy to do that for her. But we all have to deal life and death, and what do they call it? They call it heartbreak, chafing, and then singing, right? It's just a cycle. It's just a cycle. Once you finish one, you go back to the next, right? And it's just never ending circle in that. Okay, everybody. That's my good cheer tonight. I hope everybody's having a great month, right? The month of May is just starting now, and it's the 10th now. We're third into the month, right? And it's pretty cool here, and it's a good sign, right? So it makes it so people aren't so antsy to be outside. But I saw the beaches. I saw all the people on the beaches, and I was absolutely, oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, but we'll see. The numbers will reflect, right? Oh, thanks, Owen. It's wonderful. I love having you guys just chit chatting with me and stuff. Like it's amazing that I have such a great crew, right? Yeah, and the Kathy's here still. Like, hi, Kathy. Yeah, but yeah, email me, Andrew, and let me know how your week is going. And yeah, we'll see you Wednesday night, right? 7:30. And yeah, have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.